You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And oh my goodness, don't even look now, but that's 6 wins in a row for the Detroit Tigers, 4.5 back in the wild card. They have gained some ground in the last 8 days. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast after another Tigers victory. I am your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. And it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. This is Locked On Sports Detroit. And it's just getting more and more fun in the month of August. Late in the month of August, the Tigers have won 6 in a row. How did they do it tonight? Well, the Torque Bomb was alive, and, well, it's another series win, and they can go for the series sweep against the Angels tomorrow. 3-2 the final tonight. We're going to break it all down, but first, like I mentioned, thanks for making Locked On Tigers postcast your post-game destination and your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, all on YouTube on the Locked On Sports Detroit page, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. That's right. Download the Game Time app today. Use that code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. And don't forget the Game Time app. You create that account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. It's also time for the Tigers to take a peek at those wild card standings because the Minnesota Twins lost again tonight. I believe that's 7 of 8 or even 8 of 9. They have struggled as of late, and the Tigers have gained 5.5 games in 8 days. Insanity. And yes, they've played some pretty crummy teams. The Angels, certainly, I believe now that's 3-15 in their last 18 games. And we won't even get started about the White Sox. And that's the last 6 straight wins for the Tigers. But hey, it doesn't matter. You don't have to draw a picture on the scoreboard or on the in the standings. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything like that. It's all about stacking those dubs, and that's exactly what the Tigers did tonight. Like I mentioned, how did they do it? The Spencer Torkelson home run. Finally, a no doubt about it, where he punished a mistake made down the heart of the plate and just bombed it away to left field, and that's what you want to see from Spencer Torkelson. It was a 2-run bomb in the home half of the second inning, and for Torkelson, again, it was that swing that's what you came to expect and you hope to expect from Spencer Torkelson. 7th home run of the season, and he had a guy on to make it a 2-run homer. And then later in the game, I liked what we saw from Torkelson going the other way on a slider and showing that he can hit to all fields. So good stuff there from Spencer Torkelson. And as a bounce back night, because again, he struggled last night, but he had 2 RBI tonight, 2 more hits, and the run scored as well as drawing a, I believe in that was in the 3 at-bats. Yes. So Spencer Torkelson, huge game tonight for the Tigers to help them get the win. And you know what? It was another day in which we will go ahead and say, you use that bullpen day and to hold the Angels to just 2 runs. We'll take it. It didn't have to be pretty. Mason Englert gets the first 2 innings. And then Kenta Maeda, that's right, Meatball Maeda gets his 3rd win of the season. And other than the home run that he allowed, I guess you could say he was pretty good tonight. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs on the home run that he allowed, but he struck out 5, only walked 2, made a heads-up play in the field on that line drive that helped start a double play. And so, listen, if the Tigers, when things are going good, they are going good, and that's exactly what tonight is an example of, because the Tigers weathered the storm of Kenta Maeda throwing 4 1/3, and then Beau Brieske looked really, really good tonight. He gets a hold, his 5th of the season, an inning and 2/3 from him. Did allow just the 1 hit, but had the big strikeout there to end the 8th. And then Jason Foley comes in the 9th, gets his 19th save of the season. And folks, this is what it's all about. The Tigers are playing meaningful baseball in the month of August, 2 games above 500. And this is about as excited as you can be about a Tigers team for a while. Some recent memory. I heard people throwing around 2016 since the last time they felt this good about a Tigers team. Longest win streak in quite some time. Most they've been over 500 at this point in the season since that 2016 season. And yeah, it's starting to feel a little bit like this team has something about them, that little sparkle, and we all know that Comerica Park is a magical place when this team is alive and well. I think it's perfect that this weekend they're honoring the 84 team, because that's a team obviously that captured the heart of the city and all the way en route to a World Series. Now, hold on. I'm not saying this is a World Series caliber team, but they're starting to feel like that team of destiny that has that excitement factor, that tune-in factor, that electricity in the ballpark, all the things that we've just been desperately craving for so long in Detroit. And man, it is fun to see. And listen, you can label me a hater, label me a doubter. We all know where this team was at in the month of June. And then fast forward to the trade deadline. They weren't necessarily playing terrible baseball at that time, but had to be sellers at the deadline. And what these youngsters have done over the course of the month of August has just been so refreshingly, almost shocking in a way, but to my goodness, night in and night out, they have put their best foot forward. Credit to AJ Hinch. I do have to give him a lot of credit the way he's managed the opener situation, the bullpen situation, and the way the young guys have performed, even at a consistent level. And again, I understand who they're playing in these last 6 games. Relax a little bit there. I understand. But at the same time, to get this concerted effort night in and night out, this consistent level of play, to be able to win 6 straight games in Major League Baseball, that's a testament to how far these young guys have come and this team has come. And tonight, you see the youth movement, so to speak, with Spencer Torkelson hitting the home run. You absolutely love to see it. And then as far as the other scoring for the Tigers, obviously there's the Spencer Torkelson home run, but and then you've got the Kerry Carpenter single that scored Jake Rogers, and that was a scoring threat. It was Jake Rogers walked, gets to second on the wild pitch, and then gets to third on the ground out, and then Kerry Carpenter is the one that is able to get that RBI single. So great to have Kerry Carpenter back in the lineup. We know the damage he can do with the bat, and just checking so many boxes this Tigers team is in the last month of August, and more specifically, the last 6 games. That has been so fun. So let's get to the comments. A lot of people want to weigh in, and I want to read a lot of the comments. We've got a ton of people watching tonight, as they should be, because it's a live Locked On Tigers postcast, all part of Locked On Sports Detroit, and it's more fun when your team is winning. How many times do we say that? And the Tigers are the hottest team in baseball, 13-3 in their last 16 games. There was the graphic that was shared on Bally Sports earlier today. They were the best record in the last 15 games, and obviously with the win tonight, that trend continues. But one other thing that I love to see as well, Rieger pointed out on Twitter, props to him, Detroit has gained 5.5 games in the wild card race in 8 days. Wow. And you got the Red Sox coming to town this weekend. I mean, my goodness, fired up. Still one more game against the Angels. The Tigers needing to complete that sweep tomorrow afternoon. We also got the announcement from AJ Hinch, and actually, you got to give credit to AJ Hinch. He was actually funny about it, but we likely will see Casey Mize on Friday. So exciting stuff there too. Just a lot of really, really exciting things going on with this Detroit Tigers team right now. So let's get to those comments. Top of the hour with Corey Leland leads us off. Thank God they weathered the Maeda outing. Absolutely. He wasn't terrible tonight, but 4 1/3, gave up the home run, and the Tigers did enough to get that win. 6 in a row. Love it. Let's keep it rolling, says S-Dog. No doubt about it. Zingdad, happy for the win, but that was ugly. Maybe they are pacing themselves. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that was the prettiest win of all time, but you know what? You just have to have more runs than the opposition after the 27th out is recorded. It doesn't have to be pretty. They all count the same, so I'll leave it at that. S-Dog, I've been noticing something about these hitters. They take their eye off the ball a lot when they are swinging. Number 1 rule of hitting, keep your eye on the ball. Hope the hitting coaches are catching it. Yeah, S-Dog, that's a great point. You got to keep the eye on the ball. It was a tough night for Riley Green. He had a couple of frustrating at-bats when you look at his final numbers. 1 for 4, my apologies. He did have the one hit, but struck out a couple of times in a couple of big spots. Colt Keith and 0 for night with 3 strikeouts. That's going to happen. Got to give credit to Jace Jung, 1 for 1 in his at-bat, and he walked twice. So on base 3 times, as well as scoring the run there. We know about Torkelson with the home run. And as for Zach McKinstry, I know sometimes this stream, there's some viewers that don't love Zach McKinstry, but what did he play? A couple of different positions tonight and add some value to the Tigers lineup in that sense. All right, a couple more people to get to. Dennis says, go Tigers, 6-game win streak. Gareth Ridings, another great game. And Maeda did well tonight. Yeah, again, we'll take that if we can get it from Kenta Maeda. One more before we hit the break. Demetrius McNeil, torque homer, and led the Tigers to win again. I'm calling it. The Tigers are going to the postseason. Okay, there you go. Unless September calls. All right, Demetrius McNeil, there you go. We're going to hold you to it. I hope you are correct. We talked about it a lot last night. Tigers do have the 3rd easiest schedule as it relates to opponent win percentage remaining this season. All right, YouTube user agree. Kenta Maeda wasn't bad tonight. Credit where credit is due. All right, we got a couple more comments to get to on the other side. We'll also talk a little bit more about this upcoming weekend series. One more game against the Angels and what it all could mean as far as the wild card standings. So much to get to on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Don't go anywhere. Back in just a moment. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, just like the Tigers are peaking right now in the month of August. I'm talking superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. So whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's guaranteed fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only available to U.S. customers. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Prize Picks. The most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports is with Prize Picks. Don't take my word for it. Download America's #1 daily fantasy sports app that has over 5 million active members. That's about as many wins as the Tigers have in a row. 5 million. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers, my friends. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll on in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community, just like you're part of the Locked On Sports Detroit community. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. If you sign up today, you can get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win. You receive the $50 bonus guaranteed. Preseason football is in the books. We got the regular season coming up in the NFL. So all you have to do is pick more or less on 2024 season stat projections on Prize Picks. Will Patrick Mahomes throw for more or less than 4,300 yards? Will CJ Stroud's sophomore season result in more or less than 4,150 yards? Enter your season picks before week 1 kicks off. Prize Picks is available in more than 30 states across the country, and that includes California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 off instantly when you play that $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 off instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus bet. It's guaranteed. Let me say it again. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, we are cruising right along on a live Locked On Tigers postcast after another Tigers victory, which you love to see. It wasn't always the prettiest, but 3-2. Spencer Torkelson with a 2-run homer. Kerry Carpenter with an RBI single. Mason Englert started the game as the opener, 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, did not give up a run, struck out 2. Kenta Maeda gets the win, his 3rd of the season, 4 1/3, giving up 2 earned runs, or 2 runs, none of them earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Beau Brieske pitched an inning and a third, while Jason Foley closed it out for his 19th save. And the Tigers are now 2 games over 500, 68 and 66. We do a quick peek over there at the wild card standings because we can do that now. The Tigers have earned themselves the right. That's right. 4.5 back in the wild card, chasing those Minnesota Twins who had the final wild card spot. The Royals 2.5 games above them. Orioles 2.5 games above the Royals, so 5 games ahead of the Twins. Red Sox and Tigers right now on the outside looking in, and the Tigers just a game and a half back of the Red Sox, who will be at Comerica Park this weekend, and that includes a Saturday celebration of the 84 World Series winning Detroit Tigers team. Bless you, boys. Wow, we got a ton of stuff going on, and I got to get back to the comments. Here we go. All right, another great game, and Maeda did well tonight. I think I read that one. My apologies. Demetrius McNeil. Torque Homer led the Tigers to win. There we go. All right, let me scroll down. There we go. YouTube user, I'm looking forward to another Ty Madden start. I hope Torque finally gets comfortable facing MLB pitching. It looks like he's getting closer and closer. Top of the hour with Corey Leland. Casey Mize starting Friday. Now is the time to shine like we always hoped he would. Exactly. And I think the heightened intensity on what that game will mean Friday hopefully will bode well for Casey Mize. We know he's a competitor. He's a fiery guy himself, and I would love to see him just go out and pitch a gem of a game on Friday. Jordan Ramirez says they let the Tigers get hot. That's right. That was Jake Rogers, I believe, that coined that one with an interview on the field after one of the games. Don't let the Tigers get hot. They let them get hot. Indeed, they did. And that includes being the hottest team in all of baseball over the last 16 games. Tigers 13-3. You love to see it. All right, let's continue to take your comments. So if you want to get in on the action, please feel free to do so. And as always, we thank you for making Locked On Tigers postcast your first listen following the final out. And it's always more fun when the Tigers win. But for your second listen, don't forget to check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Your host, Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully, is here to provide daily national expertise with his trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB playoffs that the Tigers might be a part of. You know he's going to be talking about the hottest team in baseball here in the dog days of summer. So prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. He better be talking about the Tigers with how well they have played. They've weathered the storm of all the injuries to the starting pitching, to selling at the deadline, which they had to do, and they are still in just 4.5 games out of a wild card. I know a big topic of conversation is when can you start realistically talking about a quote-unquote playoff race, and we are getting closer and closer to that, ladies and gentlemen. I do truly believe that, especially when you look at the Twins, who are in a bit of a tailspin, losing as many out of their, I believe it was 7 out of 8. It could be worse, but that being said, they are not playing good baseball right now. The Tigers sure are, and that's what makes this fun. So hang tight. We are going to wrap it up. Look ahead to tomorrow, where the Tigers go for that series sweep against the Angels, and they go for their 7th straight win, their 14th 14th in 17 games. Hang with me, Locked On Tigers postcast. One more segment coming up next. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Liquid IV. That's right. We've been talking about the dog days of summer, and when you're taking in America's pastime, you can't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV. And let me give you a little pro tip. The popsicle firecracker flavor is a surefire summer hit. That's right, blast off with the iconic summer flavors of popsicle firecracker, a festive blend of citrus-fueled lemon lime, tart, cherry, and raspberry flavors. I'm making myself thirsty just thinking about you. And you can find all of your favorite flavors on the website at liquidiv.com. The pro tip for you, lemon lime and pina colada, also delicious. And did you know that Liquid IV, powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration, gives you 8 essential vitamins and nutrients that gives you 3 times the electrolytes of a leading sports drink. That's right. So tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates you better than water alone. And I'm telling you, that iconic summer flavor of popsicle firecracker flavor is a surefire summer hit. So get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. No more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. That's right, the Game Time ticketing app is the only ticketing app you'll need because it's simply the best. It kicks the competition to the curb. What do I mean by that? Well, Game Time has new features called Game Time Picks that makes getting the tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching throughout thousands of tickets. And Game Time's 50% off Labor Day offers for Diamondbacks Dodgers. That's right. There's 50% off the Diamondbacks Dodgers game on Labor Day, because what better way to celebrate America's pastime than to be there in person? That's why Game Time's offering up to 50% off. Now, here's what I love about the Game Time app. As the day of the event gets a little bit closer, you actually save more and more by waiting to the last minute. That's right. The closer you get to the day of the game, the better the deals get. And what I love about the Game Time is the all-in pricing. That's right. Make sure you toggle this feature so that it shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkouts. And that's good for, obviously, sporting events, concerts, comedy, theater, you name it. Because how many times have you thought you had a great deal, you go to checkout, fee? No, with the all-in pricing, when you toggle this feature, it shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. I also love the panoramic view of your seat that you can see right on the app. No deception. You see it all before you buy. And peace of mind with the lowest price guaranteed, because Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a lower price. There's also the Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So don't take my word for it. You need to take the guesswork out of buying tickets by using the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, you download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but when you create that account and you redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off, download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time! All right, We look ahead to tomorrow as the Tigers go for consecutive series sweep and their 7th consecutive victory, taking on the Angels. And again, it was a bullpen day today. We know Casey Mize starting on Friday, and tomorrow, day game, 1:10 start. It's Cater Montero. So starting pitching for the Tigers. He's 4-5 on the season, 5.15 ERA. Let's hope he can get that win for the Tigers, which would mark 7 in a row, and see if they can continue to climb up the AL wildcard. Then the fun really begins with the weekend of the Boston Red Sox in town, with the Tigers chasing them and looking to make some noise as disruptors heading in to that wild card. Man, I'm getting the excitement, the chills, the goosebumps, all of it. It's real good. Because you know what? This is what we had hoped for. This is what we thought this team was capable of, and they are showing it here in the month of August. It's been so fun. 13-3 in their last 16 games. One more comment to get to from our good friend Rufus El Gato de Baseball. Don't let Foley wash his hair or we will lose. Yeah, love the long hair from Jason Foley. There we go. So to recap you quickly on the win tonight, and as always, thanks for making Locked On Sports Detroit your post-game destination following the final out. Don't forget about the fun things we've got planned for football season. Locked On Lions postcast after every Lions game. Locked On Wolverines postcast after Michigan games. And of course, when basketball season comes around, Locked On Pistons postcast. It's all part of the Locked On Sports Detroit network. So go ahead, like today's video, share today's video. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Make sure you do that. It really helps us out a lot as we continue to grow our audience. We will continue to bring you the best post-game coverage night in and night out here on Locked On Sports Detroit. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always tweeting about the Tigers, anything Detroit, and trying to dabble in just about everything as it relates to the Old English D. So Tigers get the win tonight. What a night it was at Comerica Park, because the Tigers won after another lengthy rain delay. We didn't even talk about that. My apologies, but it was like deja vu all over again, as great Yogi Berra would say. Rain delay last night, rain delay again tonight. Thank goodness they got them both in, because they were both victories for the Detroit Tigers, which is ultimately what you love to see. The Tigers now 2 games over 500 with this now 6-game winning streak, and 13 of their last 16, 68-66, 33-32 at home, 3-2 winners over the Angels. Spencer Torkelson hits the 2-run homer. Kerry Carpenter an RBI single. For Torkelson, his 7th home run of the season. For Kerry Carpenter, his 41st RBI of the year. All right. And the win, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the win as well. Kenta Maeda, that's right. Never thought I'd see the day. Kenta Maeda gets the win, 4 1/3. He's now 3-6 on the year. Tomorrow, the Tigers go for the sweep. Day game. You know the rules around here. It's a day game, so you can skip work or at least watch the game while you're at work. You have my permission. We'll see you then. We'll talk to you a little bit earlier tomorrow, so less than a 24-hour break before we're back at it again for another Locked On Tigers postcast here on Locked On Sports Detroit. Until then, have a wonderful night, and let's continue to enjoy this Tigers winning streak. They beat the Angels 3-2. See ya tomorrow afternoon on Locked On Tigers postcast and Locked On Sports Detroit.